If you feel like you're getting stuck behind the baseline, pounding your drives, and your opponents aren't making mistakes and aren't letting you into the kitchen, I'm going to show you how to fix that with a very simple pattern that works against pretty much any opponent. Today I'm going to demonstrate the third shot drive, fifth shot drop pattern, show you when to use it, how to use it, and just how effective it can be as a transitional tool to get you as a serving team from the baseline up to the net. We all know that the further behind the baseline you are, the harder it is to hit a drop in the kitchen. I have too much distance to be able to hit that with pinpoint accuracy consistently. So when I'm dropping from back here, it's super common for my opponent to slam me over and over and over again. I need more height on the ball, and eventually I'm gonna get one that's just too hard to make over and I get slammed, and I'm not gonna end up making it all the way up to the kitchen. I also know that the closer I am, the easier the drop becomes. So if I'm hitting a drop that bounces in front of me in the transition zone, that's gonna be much easier. From here, I can get that in the kitchen over and over and over again, no problem, and safely come up. That's why beginners can even hit dinks consistently from the kitchen line. It's a simple shot. I'm really close to my target, so anyone can do this over and over and over again, even if you've never played pickleball before. So I have to think to myself when I'm hitting a third shot, how can I get that one in the middle of the court? Because I know one that it's easier to put it in the kitchen when I'm hitting from closer to the kitchen, and I also know that the drop, when executed correctly, is the most effective way to get up, because it gives my opponent something that they simply can't attack. They can't run in and slam it, they have to let it bounce, and they're hitting it from below the net, which makes attacks very difficult. So that's where my third shot drive, fifth shot drop pattern comes into play. When I'm hitting from back here, I can actually use my drive to give myself an easier drop opportunity and then move up into the court. So here's what I mean. When I'm behind the baseline, the easier shot generally for me to execute is gonna be a drive. It's pretty easy for me to just load up and rip it, especially if I can get behind the ball and then end up stepping into it. And what that does, especially if I hit a really good drive, is it makes it harder for my opponent to keep it back deep. Sure, if I pop it up, they can slam it, but if I just hit a decent drive where they're hitting it from their chest, or even better, they're hitting it from below the net, most of the time, the ball's gonna come back lower and shorter. It's gonna come back a little bit more inside the court, which, as we just talked about, is gonna give me the opportunity to come in and hit an easier drop. So that turns into my third shot drive, fifth shot drop. So on that first one, I'm gonna hit my drive, and then that's gonna give me the easier drop opportunity. So you saw there, because I hit a good drive, it made it difficult for my opponent to keep me back. Naturally, the ball ended up being shorter. I could hit my easy drop and then come right on in. Now, the area where a lot of players go wrong is they hit the first drive, and because they're so jacked up from hitting the ball hard, they want to hit the second one hard and keep driving, driving, driving. That's where we're going to create a lot of mistakes. If I hit that first drive and then I drive from up here again, one, the distance between me and my opponent is much shorter, so I'm going to have less time to react. Two, I'm usually going to be hitting from way below the net with also less distance to the baseline, so I have to hit up, and there's way more chance of that going out than staying in. From here, I'm recognizing the drive becomes lower percentage, the drop becomes higher percentage. So now I'm gonna show you what happens when I just keep driving, 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 and how much harder it is for me to transition all the way up. I end up getting crushed, where before, with the fifth shot drop pattern, I was able to get in 2 shots. Now it's going to take me 3, 4, maybe even more shots to get up, and my opponent has more of an opportunity to punch it down towards my feet. So if you're hitting your drive, the best pattern to use is your third shot drive, fifth shot drop, unless you get a pop-up, in which case, of course, drive it again, shake and bake, slam it out of the air. But remember, the drive is a transitional tool, no different from the third shot drop. We're using it to get to the kitchen line, so that should be your priority, especially at a high level. When players are better, they're gonna have better hands, they're not gonna get phased by pace, and they're gonna punch that ball right back down to you if you keep driving. So drop, but make it so that you can get a drop inside the court, so it's a lot easier to execute than from behind the baseline.